can see downtown, which if you saw the first IRL stream I did, that's where I was. All right, we should be connected now. Mark says it works wonderfully. Let me know if you can, if you can hear me. I forgot that I enabled off on my what do you call it? My SRT live server, and I had to put the the password in. I thought I already had it. Oh well, we're live though. Welcome in, everyone. Glad to have you. What you're seeing right now is real in Sound of Gaming. Thank you for that sub. Here, we'll switch to the front cam. This is me. Oh, is that weather overlay working? I actually can't see it from here. But we're gonna walk a little bit. I'm gonna try to find a decent table with like decent coverage, and then I'll get out my laptop and pull up the Q&A website and just start answering questions. So, welcome in, everybody. Hopefully you're doing all right. I am like an hour and a half late, I think. But I was working all of this out. And mainly getting it so that I should be able to use my laptop while we're out here in the park. It's all a simulation. What does it say the temperature is for me? We're gonna go this way. I think we will use Vox, but we won't use Vox until I sit down at my computer. So for now, if anyone has questions, they can just put it in chat. So. 66 Fahrenheit. Cool. Cool. I guess I need to send my, I didn't send a tweet and I didn't send the YouTube notification. Oh, I mean, I don't know how to use it, Timon. Like, do I need to have Discord open? Oh, and thanks, Limotes. we built that yesterday. So. But I mean, so I just continue using Vox as I normally do, and then it's getting synced with Discord somehow? And welcome in, Matacolette. Yeah, I've heard of Warp Terminal. I haven't personally tried to use it. Okay, cool, Timon, yeah. Well, when we start using it in a little bit, you can start it up. Yeah, so the plan is, so just like my phone is sending its camera signal, I'm gonna connect my laptop to the hotspot, and it's gonna use OBS to send its signal back to my home computer. Yeah, and welcome in, Veja. I'm in Denver, Colorado. I guess I also started started the stream a little bit sooner than normal. People are probably used to like 15 minutes of nothing, so we're just a walk in. Yeah, here's the lake. Here, I'll get a good shot of it. Thanks for that posture check, Savaro. I'm standing up pretty straight. If you do ! IRL gear, that'll tell you everything, but it's yeah, IRL setup, that's the one. It's a Pixel 6 is the camera. Yeah, Mr. Yan, I mean, most of the parks are really good for biking and walking. When you get to the busier areas, it is pretty car dominated. It's not as leisurely to be a pedestrian, but yeah. A jog during the vlog? Yeah. And the alley one says, why in next do people recommend static sites for blogs? If comments are dynamic. Yeah, I mean, you can have a dynamic section of your site, but the rest of it could be completely static. I mean, and Mr. Yan, thank you for that Twitch Prime. I thought we saw snow in the forecast, but apparently it's going to be pretty nice this week for the most part. But in terms of like a static site for a blog, like the idea of a blog is the content doesn't change very often, right? Like it only changes when you create a new post. So you could have a system where anytime you create a new post, the whole site gets generated, and then it can just run as a static site from there. Yeah, oh yeah, y'all can play the drop game now too. Actually, we'll stroll down here. And Harasana, thank you very much for that Twitch Prime. Do you all have the viewer count? I see 105. And not that that's not a lot, but I'm just kind of baffled that maybe because I put IRL in the title, people are like, oh no, he must not be coding. I will write code today. Watch me. 126? Okay. Cool. Hey, and thank you, Northern Aviation for the Prime. Appreciate that. Had trouble with your name for a second. Write code on the wall? Well, we could get weird with it and like bring some chalk and then like do like whiteboarding on the sidewalk or something like that. And Danger Mouse, thank you for the Prime. There's some tables over here. I think last time I had a pretty good signal, so I'm gonna try to get my laptop going. I'm gonna code outside. The plan, set up my laptop, make sure I got a good connection and go. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm using a gimbal, which makes the camera super smooth. And then I also have electronic image stabilization on, so yeah. Yeah, so I looked into that weather API, and because it's based in Norway, they actually only have updates for US weather, I think like 3 times a day. So it's not super accurate. I'm gonna have to look into a different API. Yeah, and it's currently noon 30, so 12:33. Okay. I think this is a good spot. Maybe I'll choose a concrete table. Last time we had a metal table, we really had issue with signal. Yeah, I mean, like open weather seems really good, but it requires an API key, which is not horrible, but I wanted this overlay to be usable by others. So at a certain point, I won't have enough API credits. But let me set up. Let me get to coding. Let's see what happens. So I have a mouse, a keyboard, a laptop stand. I'm just gonna go with the laptop stand for now. If everything works, then I'll bust out the keyboard and mouse. Yeah, code and barbecue. I forgot the blue screen. Well, people are gonna argue that there's actually just a blue screen behind me. Alright, I lied. I am gonna get the mouse out. Pass the API key via query params. I'll probably have to do that. Yeah. All right, so my laptop is connected to T-Mobile. I got a new T-Mobile hotspot. It actually has unlimited data, though I will say in the places I've tested it so far, it's not good. I mean, I've heard from other people that T-Mobile lies about whether you're actually getting 5G or not, but it says 5G and like it is so slow. But we'll see if this is good enough. Also, external battery pack to charge the laptop. Oh, like you can't add the Vox bot. That's all right. We're gonna keep it pretty chill today, Timon. And we'll try it out next week. Yeah, there's squirrels behind me. Okay, I'm gonna go down for hopefully not long, and then I'll come back up and it will be my laptop screen. So prepare, and I will see you all soon. Okay, so this is fascinating because it looks like the art is actually covered with tags, but that's part of the art. Like either they got a bunch of people to come up and tag and then paint it over it. Cause wow. I don't know if it's coming across on the stream, but there's basically just a bunch of tags all over the wall, and then they've painted that into it. It's got a 2018 copyright on it. Wow. Oh, you know what? Check this. Hello? Let me know in chat if you can see my screen and you can hear me. It says it's a good connection. Yes? So you can see my screen. You see Vox? Keyboard. It's live? Okay. Okay, this will be fun. You can see and hear me. Okay, great. Yeah, this is awesome. So, if you want to ask me a question in the chat, !ask. Let's see. Today. The chat is overlaid on. Oh, good call. I'll turn off the. I need to turn off the weather overlay and the chat overlay. Okay. One moment. Okay, so weather and chat should be off on this scene. Cool. Let me know if it looks good. It should be good. Okay. Yeah. I think the only issue is right now the weather and the chat are on the weak signal screen. So, um, you have arrived in chaos. What's up, Stony? I'm sitting in a park and I'm on my laptop. We should be good. Actually, I'm gonna turn this off for now to save battery. And I guess how's the audio? It's just using my MacBook's microphone. So I'm charging my laptop with a USB-C power delivery 65-watt battery. Audio's good? Okay. So yeah, if you want to ask a question, !ask in the chat. It'll show up on this website. If you have already asked a question, type ! here and they will bubble up. We'll start with Torafun Bujin, who says, what are we doing today? Answering questions. That's the plan anyways. And I've got VS Code on this machine. Wow. Well, I have my Bluetooth keyboard now. This should work. I don't have autocomplete. Wow. Okay, so I have VS Code, I have a terminal, I have everything I need to get going. So thank you for that question. I might need to refresh this page if it's not connected. Yeah. And welcome in, Fab, who says, when am I going to finish the overlay? Probably next week. I'll do a similar, like a Monday or Tuesday stream where we basically turn that weather overlay into a page where someone can customize the location, the text size, how long it stays on screen, all of that good stuff. So that's the plan. Next week, probably Tuesday, I'll work on it then. Yeah. Let's see. So Shing has a question. A little bit off topic. What are the documents required for non-European citizen to work as a front-end dev in Europe? I have no idea. I'm not in Europe. So I have no idea. And also, this mic actually isn't what you're hearing me from, so I'm going to turn this off. I don't know if anybody in the chat has any thoughts on working as a non-European citizen or in Europe. Yeah. Yeah, Mark. I need to add a bunch of commands to my bot so I can like switch scenes. I can enable and disable overlays for sure. A working license is required. I think it's a similar thing in the U.S. You basically, if you're gonna work at a company, they would support you, and that would be like your work visa. But yeah, don't know too much about that. And IBB Goat says, what do I think about boot camps? And the Primogen, thank you for the raid. Welcome in. Okay, this may not seem like this is actually happening right now. Okay, actually, I'll do this for you. I am literally in a park. I'm sitting in a park testing out my IRL rig, and I'll show you in a second what it all looks like. But I'm sitting at my laptop. It's on a T-Mobile hotspot, and my laptop is sending OBS back to my home computer. But thank you so much for that raid. Can we get yeah, we got some shout outs for the Primogen. Appreciate you. Welcome in, raiders. Today, we do a loop around the tree here. I'm going to turn my other camera on so you can see the park that I'm at. But today, we are just answering questions. Not true. I'll show you. It's not a blue screen. I swear. But if you do want to ask a question, !ask. It'll show up on this website, and then I'll have a chance to answer it. But actually, I'm gonna go down for a second just so I can show you my other camera. Well, let me get it set up. Okay, I'll be right back. That launch. Am I live? Is this it? Can you see me? Let me know if it's rotated. Sometimes when the app does a back. Okay, and then I'll switch to my front camera. Yeah. How many Rust questions have I answered? None. I don't know. I don't know Rust very well. Oh yeah. I have to. My microphone is over here. Hello. Hello again. It should be better now. I wasn't talking into the microphone. Oh, nice live coding. Glad to hear that. Yeah, what was the Primogen working on? Everyone let me know. But I've been working on this IRL setup, and I've been streaming over on my personal channel. So after the Primogen shout out is done, can the mods shout out my personal channel? But today I was like, all right, this is the coding garden. We're gonna go out into nature and and answer some questions, some code related questions. Okay, I'm gonna switch back to my laptop. So I'll be back. Cool. You should be able to see me again, and you should see my laptop screen. Yeah, and so the reason I don't have seamless camera switching is because right now both my phone and my my laptop are streaming back to the same, like basically like stream ID. So I could set it up where they're streaming to a different one, and so that way I could have them both running and then seamlessly switch. Yeah, audio level on laptop is better. Okay. I guess I have a little bit of control over that, but not too much. Cool. But if you have a I appreciate that, Vibrant Neon. But if anyone has a question in the chat, !ask, it'll show up on this website, and let's start talking about code. Ideally, I can find a question where I can actually write code, because I just set up this machine this morning, but I got a terminal, I got VS Code, we're ready to go. I think I'm going to start with IBB Goat. So IBB Goat asked, what do you think about boot camps? So I actually taught at a coding boot camp for like close to 3 years. I think coding boot camps are a very viable way for someone to break into the industry. Now, I don't think coding boot camps are for everyone. I think you have to be a certain type of person, and you have to be very dedicated, and you have to have a lot of spare time, because typically boot camps are like full time. And it's like 8 hours a day or more, 5 days a week, and that's really how they can cram all of that like learning and stuff into like a 3-month or a 6-month program. So, yeah. In my experience and in my opinion, if you're someone that already has a college degree and like you are trying to transition into software development, I think a boot camp is great. I think if you're fresh out of high school, you could probably do okay at a boot camp, but I also think that you have your whole life ahead of you, so you might as well get a college degree, because a lot of companies require a college degree. Even if it's not a computer science degree, a lot of companies still want you to have a degree, so it can be harder to get your foot in the door if you don't have a degree. That said, it's still possible, and there are plenty of self-taught people or people that went to boot camps. So, but yeah, that's my opinion on them. That for certain people in certain situations, I think they work. What are the great questions? Yeah, so if you already asked a question, if you do ! Here, your question will bubble up if you already asked it. Yeah, and that's my opinion as well, Watch BFL, is like, in university, like, I learned how to be responsible, I learned how to do my own laundry, I learned how to wake up on time. You don't really, like, at a coding boot camp, you already have to have your stuff together. You have to be a responsible adult already, so that you can take on the responsibility of learning and taking care of yourself and everything else. But yeah. All right, this was asked a week ago by HTTP404, but let's see. Opinions and alternatives to testing for mobile devices like Browser Stack. I don't have a lot of experience like this with this. The last company I worked at, we did have a QA team, and they used Browser Stack. It's good enough for testing, obviously, like websites on different devices, but like if you want to do native testing, you won't be able to do that with Browser Stack. You're gonna most likely need a physical device. There are some services where they basically have like physical devices that are plugged in and you can remote into them. Yeah, I'm actually outside. I am. So my new blue screen lighting looks like, look. So yeah, I don't have a lot of experience with this. You could also, I mean, most of the experience I have is literally just using like the device emulator, but the only thing this is going to get you is like device size. Like if you're dealing with what else? Yeah, like the idiosyncrasies of like Safari versus Firefox or whatever else. You can't. It's harder to do that on desktop as well. Yeah. So if we look at Browser Stack, actually, I have no idea how the actual web surfing is going to be here. It's not bad. Not bad. But yeah, Browser Stack lets you automate across testing on devices. So yeah, I don't have a good answer for you, but Browser Stack is what I've used in the past. Cool. This one's from Memories. Memories. I've been seeing a lot of jobs requiring experience with distributed systems. How does one get that? It's sad to say, but honestly, like with experience, like the only way you can get experience doing it is doing it. But typically, distributed systems. I guess this could mean a lot of things, but what I think of are like scaled systems, right? So let's see what Educative has to say about distributed systems. A quick introduction. Distributed systems are becoming more popular, scaling at exponential rates. A distributed system is a collection of computers that work together to form a single computer for the end user. Okay, so this is kind of what I had in mind, like the whole idea of just like modern application architecture where you have an API server, or potentially, let's describe one architecture. You have an API server, and that API server is deployed to several different servers, and then there's a load balancer in front of that. So if you have thousands of requests coming in, that load balancer is going to distribute that load between the multiple servers that are running. Now, there's a lot of different ways to do that, and a lot of different things you could use for that. So my answer is to just start doing it. So you could look into like AWS load balancer or whatever the equivalent on Azure is, or anyone in the chat throw out some suggestions of like what are some ways to get experience with scaled and distributed systems. Build a distributed system in the public cloud if you have no other way. Yeah, so basically AWS, Google Cloud Compute, Azure, DigitalOcean, those are all ways to like spin up servers in the cloud, and you can start to. I believe if you look into it, yeah, Docker and Kubernetes are going to be really big, but if you start looking into like Kubernetes and Docker, you can find tutorials that basically take you through like spinning up an entire scaled system with Kubernetes. So that'll be a good way to get experience. And First Diddy says, same for me. I've always been striving for a DevOps engineer position, but since I'm an international student, it's hard to get experience. If there's any personal project, I won't have enough users to get in the ops side. Yeah, I guess that's the tricky part is like, really the reason you need a distributed system or the reason you need a scaled system is because you have a lot of users, but there are ways to like simulate load or simulate requests that could, so you can see how your system behaves under load, but yeah. Toby is saying, learn how to balance with Nginx. The lower the level, the more you'll learn, yeah. So I agree with all of that. Look behind me. Yeah. So yeah. The short answer: pick a public cloud and just start building a distributed system. Cool. Old School Rapper has a question. What's your favorite deployment method? Do I prefer Vite or Netlify? Well, Vite is more of a build tool. It's not a deployment method, and then Netlify is like a hosted service. Here's my 5-minute break timer. Getting started. So yeah, is they offer a lot of things. I don't even know what they call themselves, but they have serverless functions. They can host static websites. They have like Netlify CMS solutions, web applications. Yeah, I mean, and really the way I've used Netlify before is like auto deploying a GitHub repo that is a static website and that has a build process. So like Netlify can handle that. Break timer cause lag. Well, okay. But yeah, Netlify, in my experience, really good for like static sites. They can do serverless functions, and I think you can even deploy Next there. I don't know if they have like a serverless build for that. They probably do because it would be similar to like Vercel. Yeah, and they also have edge functions as well. My preferred deployment method is when I build a completely static website because it's the easiest, and then I just use something like Surge. Now, obviously, this is only going to work for like fully static websites, but well, this is funny. Their website's a little bit broken, but you can have a static. Wait, you know what? Okay, I thought it was because my screen was so small. They need to fix their website. They have over 10 million deployments, and it broke their website. Regardless, you install it globally, you run one command, and it deploys a static website. So if you were to build a site with React, purely just React, not Next, I mean, technically you could do it with Next too, but if you just use React with like Create React App or like Create Vite, When you build it, it's completely static files. You can host it on Surge. You can host those same static files on Netlify or Vercel, but Surge is super easy. And then if I have a backend, I try to host that on Vercel if I can. So yeah, short answer: Vercel, Vercel, and Surge are my favorites. And I can't use. Well, I mean, I could use Heroku, but Heroku is not free anymore. So I'm too zoomed in. Come on, this is not a brand new computer, but I've literally never used it. Look, I'm at 100%. Yeah, so Vercel is awesome. And then like this website, and actually like and a lot of other stuff, I do actually have running on an AWS EC2 server. Oh, we had a little bit of packet loss. We should be good now though. But yeah, if you look at my past streams, and you just search for AWS, I did a few streams a while back where I was configuring an EC2 server with like Nginx and Let's Encrypt and stuff like that. And so some of the apps I deploy that way. So cool. Thank you for your question, Old School Rapper. So if you asked a question, type exclamation mark here. It'll bubble up. I'll do my best to answer it. What's my advice for a junior, fresh graduated engineer? I do web development and I want to break into cloud in the DevOps world. So you have a degree. Do you have any work experience? Do you have internships? Do you have a portfolio of like personal projects or anything like that? Tell me about you. And I'm going to take a second to take a drink of water. Here, and I can disable slow mode just in case you have multiple questions you need to write. I'll try to answer another one. There's like, it seems like DevOps is the theme today. So there's a lot of questions about DevOps. So Zayu Rain is saying, do you have any tips for students trying to land an internship in DevOps with no professional experience? I think that the answer goes to how I answered about distributed systems earlier as well, is just with practice. So like you can spin up like an EC2 instance on AWS. You could like install Jenkins on it. These days, people are using like cloud-hosted CI and CD tools, so like you could learn how to use GitHub Actions. I don't know if people are still using Travis CI. Yeah, in the chat, can you all let me know what are some CI tools, DevOps tools that are like must-haves these days? Cool. And while we're waiting for chat there, I'll answer this one as well or try to answer this one from Snarkybus. Argo CD, haven't heard of that one. Let's see. TeamCity, Jenkins, GitHub Actions, cool. Declarative GitOps CD for Kubernetes, cool. So yeah, really, Zayu Rain, the answer is to just start working on some personal projects and do DevOps things. And then kind of have like a portfolio. I guess it's harder for like a DevOps portfolio. So just to let you know, like my experience is, well, losing packets. And we're back. And my experience is mostly with full stack web development and like full stack software engineering. I've done like a little bit of DevOps on the side, but DevOps has never been my like core role. And really the only way I learned how to do it was just by doing it, like spinning up some EC2 instances, spinning up AWS load balancer, and then just figuring it all out. So I think that's the main way to go, is to just start practicing. And I guess your portfolio will essentially consist of the things that you've deployed, and you can show like your configs and everything else that you've done, and that's how you can show an employer that you have experience with it. Yeah. Team City is boomer tech. So I've never heard of Team City, or like, let's look it up. Hassle-free CI/CD tool by JetBrains. Cool, cool. Yeah. Sorry about that, Stony. Yeah, our packets are getting so loose. So yeah, I think the same thing applies. Waxy or Zaz. You just have to start spinning up some instances and practicing. There is a scroll behind me. There actually is. Yeah. Also try land a job within a company that does DevOps, and the dev teams will allow you to learn the job. Yeah, I guess if you currently are trying to currently you're a software engineer or a web developer and you're trying to transition, I think that's a good plan as well, where essentially you get a job doing the thing you know how to do, and then like start talking to the teams at that company that do the job that you want to start doing. So yeah. You do both? Yeah, I'll look at your portfolio. Why not? Let's take a look. Software engineer, serverless developer, full stack developer, DevOps admirer. So there's a slight typo there. I think the font isn't loading at the top, or it's Times New Roman for some reason. So definitely look into that. Let's see if we can inspect it really quick. Oh, not there. Oh, yeah. Squirrel. Also, I'm using Firefox. You may not have tested your website with Firefox. Times New Roman was a stylistic choice. Oh, okay. Well, you did font family monospace. I don't know why that's loading Times New Roman. Yeah, monospace without the quotes. I don't know if that's a Firefox specific thing, but that looks cool because that'll use the system monospace font. Cool. And I guess the other issue is like look into smaller screen sizes, because it looks like we're cutting off the nav bar there. But I'm not here to tear apart your portfolio. Let me just see what you have listed and then what I think might be missing. Cool. I would get a native English speaker to just like run through this and like fix it grammatically, because there's a few things that like what you're saying is totally fine, but as a native English speaker, some things are like slightly off. So I would have ask a friend, someone who knows English really well, or you could even ask on Discord, and they can help you like reword that as well. Cool. Yeah, I mean, the fact that you have experience, like that's like you have a leg up. Oh, grammar, yeah, there's some free tools you can use as well. But the fact that you have professional experience, like as a software engineer, and then what are these other things? Serverless developer, engineering internship. Yeah, like use this stuff to your advantage. Like you have experience. Like that's a lot more than people that just have a portfolio with like personal projects. So that's a thing. Yeah, I think on the surface, your portfolio looks good. I think you can work on grammar. You can make sure that your site looks good across other browsers, and also make sure that some of the styles aren't broken. But overall, it looks good to me. All right, Snarkypuss asked this. I don't know if you're still here, Snarkypuss, but they mentioned, why hasn't Dino become more popular? Its all-in-one nature seems super convenient. I think it just takes time. It just takes time. And then also, so like if you look at like what Dino is, or like a lot of the technical decisions that they made, make it a bit harder for adoption, because they provide web platform functionality. That means like when you're dealing with modules in Dino, it's the ECMAScript standard. It is not modules like you're dealing with in Webpack or in Vite or in Rollup. They're ECMAScript modules, which is different, and there's a lot of like slightly different things about that, which means that you can't just take an app that was written for Webpack or for Vite or whatever else, and then just run it through Dino. At least right now, they're working on like a node compatibility layer, and eventually, like a lot of apps that work on Node will be able to instantly work on Dino. But right now, that is not that's not the case. Yeah, and if you look at Bun, I mean, Bun is even like okay, so Dino has been around for I think almost like 3, maybe 4 years. Bun has been around for maybe not even a year, and Bun has a long way to go. There's a lot of things that Bun like can't do yet, but Bun, the way that they're doing things, they are like embracing the way that like Webpack does things and stuff like that. So it is like a bundler that will work with, and is trying to work with existing bundles. So that's one leg up that Bun definitely has. But yeah, for the reason it's not more popular is just because like you can't just take a Node app and start running it against Dino. You have to do some Dino specific things. Yeah, and that's my thought too. CodePill is like, so the person that originally made Node.js also made Dino, so it has that going for them. And you would think that since so many people got behind, well, losing packets. Okay, we're back. But you would think that the person that made Node and Node got so big, we could follow them to the next thing that they're doing, I guess. I don't know. It still has to be good, obviously. It still has to work, but yeah. If you do exclamation mark here, your questions will bubble up. I'll do my best to answer them. Good connection? I don't know what that was about, but we lost a lot of packets. Okay. Oscar says, have you seen the wave of layoffs we are in or entering? Yeah, I've heard about them, but like, I'm unemployed. I mean, like, I guess I worked for myself. I don't pay too much attention to it. I try to not pay attention to things that don't affect me as much. So, yeah. Why am I so smart? I'm not. I'm very persistent. That's how I would describe my smarts, is that like I don't stop until I've learned the thing or till the thing is done. So yeah. Okay. Mr. Fruit says, any experience with UI frameworks? Tailwind, Bootstrap, Material? What's your favorite? Yeah, so this is typically a pretty divisive topic on the channel because I don't always want to write all of my styles from scratch, right? And so Tailwind is a CSS utility library. Like, Tailwind is essentially a replacement for CSS. Tailwind direct itself is not a replacement for Bootstrap or Material UI. So if you choose Tailwind, you're typically also choosing that you're going to, look at my flappy hands, that you're going to style everything from scratch, which is a thing that a lot of apps do and a lot of companies should do if they want like custom branding or if they want their app to look like it's theirs. That said, there are things like Daisy UI, and what was that other one? What's the other one? Coding gloves, yeah. I got my fingers. We looked into it too, but basically those things are built on top of Tailwind that give you UI pieces like Bootstrap or like Material UI has. So yeah, Tailwind UI is the paid one, and that's the official one, but you do have to pay money for it. But that is closer in comparison to something like Bootstrap or Material UI. Tailwind itself is more comparable to like Sass or Less or Stylus. Like, Tailwind is a CSS developer experience. Stylus, Less, Sass, those are all CSS developer experiences. Bootstrap is just a straight framework where they've already done everything for you, and you just get to choose all the pre-built classes. You can, of course, customize it, but you have pre-built UI components. Similar thing with Material UI. So what's my favorite? Bootstrap probably isn't my favorite, but I use it a lot. So I normally reach for Bootstrap just because I've used it so much. And typically when I use Bootstrap, I'll use this thing called Bootswatch, which is themes for Bootstrap. So you can basically just swap this in. So immediately pull Bootstrap out, put this in, and then you get a theme. Yeah, and what's up, CM Griffin? Welcome in. Yeah, and that's the other thing is, like, I actually do like the utility classes idea in Tailwind. Like, the fact that you can just use the flex class and you instantly get a flex box, that's really convenient and probably the thing that I would use the most often. But Bootstrap also has that. So Bootstrap is CSS utilities and UI components. Oh, we lost package for a second. But Bootstrap is CSS utilities and UI components. Losing packets again. That's all the packets. I assume that you can't hear me or see me, which is why I'm paused. Like, I'm waiting for the connection to come back. The 5G sticker starting to fill up. Yeah. It's glitching. You can hear and see me periodically. Okay. We'll let it catch up. Give it a second. But also, I think, did CM Griffin link the, oh, this is like the Windows Bootstrap. Is there like WinForms Bootstrap? Totally, the audio is comprehensible. Okay. Well, my bot doesn't know that we're back yet. Okay, now it should be a good connection. But, oh, it's all DOS. Yeah. So, oh man. We might move. The T-Mobile shifted. What's up, shit? What's going on? I am in a park. I don't know if it's even if that's gonna show up, but I'm literally in a park. Okay, give me a second. We will, however. Hello? Okay, you should be able to hear me now. But all I was saying is like T-Mobile literally has 5 bars right now. Look at that. So that was a lie. That was a lie. All I was saying was so now I'm on Verizon, 5G, which is HD. I mean, you could argue this is very HD. Yeah. Love the automatic status updates. Text could use a contrast and color. Yeah, I need to work on that overlay that shows the status. Very professional. I mean, it's my first IRL coding stream. All right, it's my first one. Okay. I gotta fix that too. Thank you, Chad. That should fix it. Rotate your heads. Yeah, live coding says, I've been trying to do remote work from home for the last year over cell phone internet, and I feel your pain. I have both T-Mobile and Verizon, and often one or the other is flaky. Yeah. Well, okay, so to the person's question that asked experience with UI frameworks, yeah, so Bootstrap just has a whole lot more, which is typically why I reach for it, depending on what I'm doing, right? So a lot of what I do is like rapid prototyping or like building something really quick where I don't necessarily need it to look branded or need it to look unique. And that's one of the things you run into if you're using Bootstrap or Bulma or any of these other CSS frameworks is that people will know that the website was built with those things. Whereas if you do everything from scratch, then you can have a completely unique look and feel. So that's one of the downsides of using Bootstrap. Also, Bootstrap is really big. Like you're shipping a lot of CSS to your end website if you use it. But like I said, for a lot of the things I do, I'm not caring if they look super unique. I just need them quick, and so I use something like Bootstrap. And then Material UI is cool as well to use with React. The issue with Material UI is now everything is material design, and not everybody wants that. So that's another thing that you run into. But yeah, my main experience is probably I use Bootstrap more than anything, but I've used all the things that you've mentioned. Yeah, and if you really cared about the size of Bootstrap, exactly like Nate's code is mentioning, like you can literally go in and customize it. You can change the variables, change the sizing, remove the pieces that you don't need. But if you're just using Bootstrap alone, then you're getting a lot of CSS that you may not, or adding a lot of CSS to your page that you may not be using. Cool. S.Code asked the question, what do I think of SpecFlow? I've literally never heard of it. Let's look it up. It's a behavior-driven development framework for .NET. Makes test automation easier by turning it into a team effort and allowing every role to better use their skills. Interesting. I've never used it, so I don't have any thoughts on it. It sounds kind of like Cucumber, maybe. That there was that thing where like non-technical people could write tests. Is that what it was? Or like developers could set it up so that non-technical people could write tests. Yeah, Gherkin. Is that the same thing as like Cucumber? But yeah, I don't have any experience with it. BDD is Gherkin. Oh, Gherkin syntax. I see. Oh yeah. Let me add the chat overlay. SpecFlow has never worked in real life. Most people gave up on the goal of non-tech people writing specs. Yeah. I've never worked at a company that did that. I know that it exists, but I've never worked at a company that has done that. Okay. If you asked a question, type exclamation mark here. And JMU has a question that I'll answer. So JMU has asked, things to learn in React if I want a portfolio project in 3 months. Everything. So I guess start off taking an intro to React course, right? That's going to teach you all the fundamentals of like JSX and state management and breaking things down into components and passing props. You probably also want to have some kind of global state management in the app. So Redux was really popular for a long time. I don't know if companies are reaching for it when they're making new apps, but if you get hired at a company that uses React and it's in a code base that's maybe a year or 2 years old, it probably is using Redux. If not Redux, then the context API with like use reducer, but you should know how to do global state management as well. What else? Probably having a project that's Next.js based, because these days like just React doesn't exactly cut it. And it's not just React, you also kind of have to know TypeScript too. So add TypeScript to the list. And yeah, in terms of what to actually build in your portfolio, build something that, React query is another thing that's popular in the ecosystem as well. So if you're dealing with like an existing backend API, or even if you're writing your own, you can use React query to integrate with it. So if you're learning React from scratch and you want a portfolio project within 3 months, it's going to be a tall order, because there are a lot of concepts that aren't just React. It's all of the ecosystem, like state management, choosing a styling solution, picking a routing library, picking a testing library. If you do more of like the hybrid frameworks, then you're potentially choosing from like Next.js or Remix. Like I said, you probably need to know TypeScript as well. It's a lot. It's a lot. All right, you're seeing an ad. What should I do while everybody's seeing an ad? I guess I'll just pause. Let's try bringing my laptop back up. Let's see if I can handle it. Difficulty? I think we're back. On my laptop anyways. Will it blend? So yeah, Jamie, it's a tall order. I mean, I would say pick any Intro to React course, start there, and then after that, start looking for projects to do. Okay, Valk has a question. Do I know any tool where you can organize several ideas or topics and then a team would discuss on that? Yeah, in the chat, you all can let me know if you have suggestions for this. But there was one that was like an interactive whiteboard. Oh, good call. Okay, so yeah, I need a chat command that can disable those two overlays. Let me remove them again. Miro, that's the one. Yeah, Miro. So yeah, Miro is really cool because you can create like a whiteboard that works just like Google Docs in terms of like people being able to all see the whiteboard all at the same time, and then you can see each individual person's mouse, and then they also have like pre-designed layouts for like a Kanban board, but it's more of like a Kanban board with sticky notes, but like more similar to what you would do like on an actual whiteboard than what you would do like in Jira or Trello or what's the other one? Asana? I don't know. But definitely check out Miro. That kind of sounds like what you're trying to do here, because everyone can be on the page at the same time. You can all be in a video call, and then people can literally like add notes to nodes and stuff like that. So I haven't heard of Lucid Spark, but if it's from Lucid Chart, then I expect it to be decent. Looks like it's not, but or maybe it is. Yeah, it's in the product suite. But this looks very similar to Miro. I mean, I don't know which one was first, but definitely Lucid Spark, Miro, check those out. Thank you for your question. What does my outdoor setup look like? Here, I'll show you. It's literally just a gimbal with a phone. Right now it's off, but I have these counterbalances here so that it's balanced even when the gimbal is off, and then when I turn the gimbal on, now the phone literally, like no matter how much I move, so like this is me walking, No matter how much I move, the gimbal uh, stays good. Um, cool. So that's mainly it, and then I just carry. Oh yeah, and then click that link. But I carry two big batteries with me, big water bottle, and then I have you saw these earlier. But these wireless mics I have hooked up to my phone. So really good simulator you got there. Valk says, why do we need to use an exclamation mark to ask a question instead of just a question mark? You know, I've thought about this. Like basically detecting when someone asks a question and then automatically adding it here. But I think that could get a little noisy because sometimes people ask questions that I answer immediately and don't necessarily go to this page. But I get what you're saying. It could be a thing. Maybe we only enable it at certain times. I've heard of IRL Pro. I've looked at all of like the IRL like hosted solutions. So there's like IRL Pro, IRL Toolkit. Oh no, this is the app. Yeah, I looked at it. It's super cool. I just went back to using Lyrics Broadcaster because it's the original Lyrics Broadcaster source. I don't know. I feel like I can't find anything about the developer. I can't find any like Lyrics Broadcaster, the app, technically is open source, but it's MIT, which means that if you fork their code base or you use it as a base, you don't have to share your source code. So like IRL Pro doesn't have to be open source, but it would be cool if it was open source. Honestly, I would probably use it if it was open source because then I'd have more insight into what they actually changed from Lyrics Broadcaster. But I will say, I tried IRL Pro out one day just in my basement where I have really bad cell service. And for whatever reason, I don't know if they changed how, like, the protocol, or maybe they changed the version of SRT that's running inside of the app, but it worked way more smooth than Lyrics Broadcaster. Basically, for whatever reason, it was able to deal with a lot more packet loss. So I'll have to check it out in the future, but I would like to, I don't know, see the source code, know what they actually added and changed, all that stuff. No, I wasn't using bonding, no. My setup here, I'm also using a service called Speedify, which is like a VPN that does connection bonding, and I'm running that on my Android phone. However, it's been super finicky and it's not connecting to my T-Mobile. I didn't want to debug it today. I just wanted to go live. But technically, Speedify is how I'm doing bonding. So yeah, okay. This question comes from Mr. Fruit. Any experience with putting Angular into Ionic to get a mobile app or any other alternative? I don't want to learn iOS development. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you look at, Ionic has Angular components. I guess the thing is, like, you have an existing code base. Is that basically what you're talking about? What just happened? Okay, we're back. Yeah, we'll see, Teeman. So like I'm trying out Speedify today. Probably after this Q&A is done, I'm gonna get my walking IRL setup going and try bonding with that. But yeah, I mean, the STRLA bonding made a whole lot of sense because it's basically like bonding at the SRT protocol level, which is kind of what you need because like Speedify doesn't know what's happening. It's just forwarding all of the traffic, whereas the SRTLA bonding literally is bonding and it knows about the SRT protocol. But regardless, yeah, you can check out Ionic. The thing is, if you already have an existing Angular app, it would probably be a whole lot of work to convert it to like Ionic components. So in that case, you can just use capacitor.js. So capacitor gives you access to the more native features, and it will also essentially it can generate the code base for an Android app or an iOS app that loads your loads your Angular web app into a web view that is an Android app or an iOS app. If that makes sense. Oh, we're losing packets again. Okay, we're back. And I am Bruce. Thank you for that sub. Much appreciated. Yeah, I'm using a T-Mobile hotspot right now. So that said, check out Capacitor. And if you look at their getting started, you can like generate an app, and then you could potentially like take your entire Angular code base and like drop it or do the opposite. But Capacitor is probably what you want if you have an existing app. So check out Capacitor. Okay, since you can't make it to any of the Friday streams, what do I think of Dino so far? It's fine. I think like we're doing a whole lot of things that just a lot of people haven't tried or haven't done yet. All right, we're losing packets again. Wind is bad? That's unfortunate. Like, I guess technically we could try with my external microphone. Let's see. Check 1, 2. Can you hear me from the external mic now? Much better. Cool. So yeah. Well, we don't have a good connection yet, though. Man. No, I didn't see Jamstack Conf. I also didn't see NextConf. I didn't see anything. Okay, good connection. Sweet. Yeah, I haven't paid attention to any conferences or anything. I've been just working on me, I guess. But in terms of what I think of Dino, it's early days. Like the fact that we were trying to interact with a Postgres database and use an ORM of sorts, like that took forever to figure out. And then also, it's mostly working, but I think it's going to need more people using it to work out the kinks and stuff like that. I'm seeing archive post. Well. Yeah, so I don't have a Celsius yet, but I'm going to add that next week. So next week, we're going to make a configuration page where we can set all of our settings. And then we're also going to add an animation. So like whenever it shows the weather, it'll show Fahrenheit. And then like after a few seconds, it'll show Celsius. And also instead of miles per hour, it'll show kilometers per hour. But yeah, so what do I think of Dino? I think it's early days. I think the ecosystem needs a lot of work. And I think once we get more compatibility with Node, things are going to be a lot easier. But they're still working on that. So, what if it's done before next week? Oh, well then I won't work on it. Will I attend or stream Advent of Code this year? I typically stream like the first few days of it. I don't know. The tricky part of Advent of Code is they release it at I guess it's around 11 o'clock my time. Or maybe even like 10 o'clock my time. So they released the challenge at night. Typically, I'm hanging out with my dog and my partner. Oh, we're losing packets. And we're back. And we're losing packets. All right, I'm going to go away for a second, and I'm going to try the Verizon hotspot. Oh, wow. I'll show you the view from this side of the lake. Wow. Okay, slow pan. Are you ready? Are we back? Okay, I think we're back now, and I'm using the Verizon hotspot instead. Man, okay, so this is super interesting. So I actually I became a member of an organization to get this hotspot, and it is completely unlimited. So it's unlimited 5G T-Mobile for an entire year. However, I don't have good T-Mobile service in this area, so like it really only makes sense if I'm in another area that maybe doesn't have good Verizon service. But regardless, to answer this question, will I stream? I'll probably stream a few, but not all of them. For one, they get really hard, and it takes me multiple hours to solve, and I don't necessarily want to do that on stream. And then for two, it gets released late at night, and then I get obsessed with solving it, and then I don't go to sleep till like 2 a.m. So I typically want to spend time with my dog and my partner. Yeah, I'll show you the organization. It's called the Calyx Institute.
Cheer 100, cheer 100, cheer 100, cheer 100, cheer 100.
They're the people that make Calyx OS, which is a privacy-focused. Oh, and Bobhead, thank you for the bits. That's a lot of bits. Appreciate you. But Calyx OS. Yes, dog first. I mean, you know, they're equally important. And it's not a secret organization. I'll show it in a second. We're losing packets, though. Okay, we're good. Calyx OS is a privacy-focused... yeah, the laptop is streaming from SRT. Yeah, so I have OBS running with an FFmpeg SRT. Okay, we're back. Calyx is a privacy-focused Android ROM, right? There is the Calyx Institute, which Calyx is a part of, and the Calyx Institute is actually a charitable organization. So if you become a member of Calyx, you can get internet for a year. You pay per year. It works out to like $50 a month for unlimited 5G internet. So it's a good deal if you have good T-Mobile service in your area. That's the thing. So I'm not running a privacy OS on my Android yet. I'm still running just like stock Pixel Android. But when I do, I'll probably use Graphene, because if you look at Graphene, actually I'm here not right now. There's a whole lot of packet lost. We're good? Okay. Oh, yeah, it's good. Okay. Graphene OS is another privacy-oriented Android operating system, and they have they recently updated their website, and it is just a wall and wall and wall of text. And Excavator, thank you very much for the 22 months. For some reason, I don't have any events. There we go. But if you just start to read, like if you go to Graphene and you start reading, it's a book. It's literally a book. If you are privacy, you do a really good job at explaining like why these features exist and like why they're better than Calyx. But regardless. Hey, what's my pup time? Man, my hands are cold. I feel like I've been out here a lot longer. What's the use of local CI like clone CI? I don't see how it could be useful when you already have Jenkins in place. I've never heard of that. Do you mean like clone the stuff that you have for like actual CI to work with locally? Yeah, I don't really know exactly what you're asking. Also, I don't have a lot of experience with it, so. Yeah. Pup time is, like Alka has a bunch of aliases for his commands. Yeah. Oh, I should. Yeah, I need to try that DuckDuckGo browser at some point. I haven't tried it yet. Okay. If you asked a question, type exclamation mark here. I think I'm going to go through the last few questions, and then we're going to start walking just so I can warm up because I'm in the shade and it's pretty cold right now. I need to add an alias for that. It's exclamation mark ask, not question. What's the use of Jenkins when GitHub, GitLab, get flavor of the month developments? Yeah, no. Oh, I think it's just if people want to have on-premise continuous integration, because Jenkins you can install and set up and configure on your own server that you own. And all of the others are hosted solutions, so you're not really in control of them. Yeah. And so there are some, like Drills is saying, on-premises is the thing. There are some companies that don't like cloud-hosted services. They want everything to be internal. Sometimes to their own detriment, because, I mean, cloud services are really convenient and exist for a reason. Can I do some coding? Sure. Let's figure out like a 10-minute coding challenge and before I pack up my laptop. Yeah. Callie says, what tech do we have the most chance to land a freelance job in? Niche or popular? I think anything web development focused. So I have a YouTube playlist. Yeah. What's way too convoluted? I think I missed your other message, American 2050. Oh, cloud services. Cloud services only exist to confuse users. I don't know. Some of them are really convenient. But if you check out this YouTube playlist, the first video in that YouTube playlist is why I think web development is the best or web development technologies, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript are the best first things to learn. So check that video out. And then the second video in that playlist is a link to resources to learn to code. So yeah, I think like web, and probably if you're going to be in web after you learn the basics, you probably want to learn React. That's probably the most popular. Some AR. Actually, we could do object detection. Let's look at ML5. Oh, thank you, Shiromi. Welcome in. Image classifier? Oh, I think no. Don't they have video? Or I guess image can work on video because you pass each frame into it. Huh. We could train it. What would we train it on? Squirrels in the park? Code a 3D rendered Rubik's Cube using a native canvas. Oh yeah, and then we answered that one earlier. Yeah, and so I'll answer this one for Mr. Frew, the last one, and then we'll figure out some code that we're going to write. We'll come up with like a 10-minute outside coding challenge. What's the point of using Redis DB? Anytime I look up for use cases, it's about caching for ultra-fast lookups instead of DB queries, but what's the point to use it in a REST server? I just don't get it. That's pretty much it. Like, so because Redis is a key value store, and also I think like within Redis itself, it has a whole lot of caching and optimization built into it, so that if you query for one thing and you immediately query for it again, like you're going to get it back really fast. Whereas with other databases, there's a little more overhead. So yeah, that's exactly it. A lot of times people have their like session data stored in Redis because when users are using your website and you want to check if they're logged in or not, you want that to be a really quick lookup. So it makes sense to put that in a Redis store. And also, if you have like a backend API that is making third-party API requests, you could potentially cache the responses inside of Redis as well. So yeah, what's up, Thousand Don? Welcome in. So yeah, I mean, if you have the right idea, it's typically used for caching. If you have some other database and you don't necessarily need faster lookups than you already have, then you probably don't need Redis. All right, solve P is not equal NP. Oh yeah, and so my setup, there's a command in chat, but basically right now it's literally just a gimbal, and then I have a few apps running on my phone. That's it, IRL setup. If you click that link, click that link. I'm used to pointing at the screen. Click that link, and it shows you all the apps that I'm using, but most of it's just running on my phone. Right now, I actually have OBS running on my MacBook here. And then in my recording, I'm not going to show my recording settings because it'll reveal my IP address, but in my recording settings, I actually have the output as an FFmpeg URL. So OBS is essentially sending a signal just like my phone is sending a signal whenever I'm streaming my phone. So that's what's happening right now. Thank you for asking. Appreciate you. Will Node be able to replace frameworks like Spring in the future? I think it depends, but probably Nest.js is closer to replacing Spring because Nest is. And let me know if you need okay. We were losing packets, but let me know if I need to repeat myself. Nest is more enterprisey. It's closer to the kind of stuff that you see like in the Java world. So I would think that something like this could replace or be used as an alternative to Spring in Java. But I think it depends on where you are in the world, what industry you're in. Come on. Come on. Because in a lot of places, like Node.js is already like more popular than Spring, or people reach for it more often than they would reach for like Java and Spring. So, yeah. Right now I'm on my MacBook. Yeah, so it's not. Everything's running on my MacBook right now. Okay, what are we gonna code? Do we have any quick ideas in here? Build something with teachable machine. Make a countdown timer. I kind of want a countdown timer. I'm gonna make a countdown timer. It's gonna be super meta. I'm going to give myself 10 minutes to build a countdown timer. Let me get everything set up. Oh man, my fingers are so cold. I don't know if I'm going to be able to code. Countdown timer. Do the YouTube clip for the Be Alright back overlay. What do you mean by that, Oscar? Add a timer to the top bar of Sprout Kit. Oh, that'll be separate. It's a MacBook with just Zish and Oh My Zish. I haven't set up any custom stuff here. Oh, good call, Oscar. Yeah, I don't want to do that right now because that'll definitely take me longer than 10 minutes. But I like the way you think. Why not work on fresh spots? Because I would need Docker. I would need to clone the repo down. I'd have to do. Yeah, it would take a lot. I'd have to install Dino. Yeah, and I've used Oh My Bash before, but the latest Mac OS comes with Zish, so I just did Oh My Zish. Where's VS Code? Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Oh, thanks, Mr. Yan. Yeah. You don't need Oh My Zish. Why not? It's got a cool theme. I guess I could set up the theme manually if I really wanted to. And Tim, thank you for the 18 months. Appreciate you. Just going for the look and feel of my dish. I don't have any plugins or anything. VS Code, come on, dude. Come on, dude. It looks like it updated. This, I think, is like a 2016 or 2017 MacBook Pro. I don't want to show my serial number. Okay, well, we can't launch VS Code. I guess we could just use Code Sandbox? Vim time? Yeah. Yeah, we could just use the terminal. I don't know why Firefox is frozen. I literally just opened a new tab. I don't want to have to crash Firefox. Wait, does GitHub.dev cost money? How would I react if a fan passed by right now? I'd say hello. I mean, I don't know why anybody would come out here. I mean, to say hi just to me. Like, I'm not that big a deal. Oh, God. Is it the timer tab that's crashing? Man. Does Firefox have an activity monitor like Chrome? OBS. That's the plan. All right, here we go. Yeah, I mean, I have a feeling that ML5 uses web workers. We'll see. JSP87, thank you very much for that Prime resub. Here we go. We're going to add it as an overlay. Sentiment analysis. We will, however, look at this giant gnome. Oh, the place is literally called the Grateful Gnome. That's awesome. Oh, I have no idea, Alka. That's a good question, though, because it's like, I could actually calculate that, like how many packets make it there successfully and what makes... First are I personally don't like doing Salesforce development, but if you're looking for something, you can probably almost always find a job that has to deal with Salesforce. And then Salesforce Lightning, I think, is their specific UI library that helps with integrating with their Salesforce API stuff. I'm not. Hello. It is that mic. Cool. I'm just gonna show. I'm just gonna start walking because I'm cold, and my MacBook is not behaving at all. So I'm just gonna pack up. And here I'll show you my my little setup right here before I go. Cool. Is that a Twitch clip? Favorite intervention? Cool. But here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna walk for a little bit, warm up, and then I'll find another table in some sun, and then we'll do a coding challenge, because that'll potentially make for some good YouTube content. Nobody in the world knows what they're doing. No, I mentioned that once, and some people got really offended, but I think if you get offended by me saying that no one in the world knows what you're doing, I think that I don't know what I want to say about that. I know what I'm doing, yeah, but do you really? What's up, Codex? I used to know what I was doing. Now I don't. I guess what I really mean is not everyone is perfect. Not everyone has everything figured out. Like, most people are just figuring it out as they go. And we're mostly just seeing, we're just seeing people's successes, right? We're not seeing everything that it takes for them to get there. Okay, sorry. The mic went behind me. I didn't see. I was like, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Okay, let's move. I guess we'll walk this way. I think the last time I was here, I actually didn't walk this way. Oh, let me turn the chat and the weather overlay on. Just a second. You can't possibly be that cold. Well, I'm in the shade. It's probably like 45 degrees in the shade. I don't know. There you go. You should see weather and you should see chat now. I should have just sat at this table. This one's in the sun. This table. Actually, I'm just gonna stand here for a second because the sun feels great. It's 80 Fahrenheit there? Oh, you're in Texas, aren't you? Thanks for using freedom units, Drills. I know you're typically in Celsius. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Bye, squirrels. Bye, squirrels. I'm gonna switch to just the walking camera, so you can pretend like you're outside right now walking. And if you have questions, feel free to ask them. It's harder for me to keep track of chat while I'm walking, so I'll do my best. I kind of want to walk this way. The sun was directly in our eyes that way. Oof, Drills. Well, thanks for watching, even though you're outside. Yeah, I think Alcobot does. If you do !convert, I think Alcobot can do it. Well, I do know there's like, connection gets spotty over there. At least it did last time we were here. Yeah, a lot of people play Frisbee out here. In the summer, this entire field is just filled with, the field is filled with volleyball nets. Yeah. The weather overlay should be there. It just appears for 10 seconds every 60 seconds. It's like real reality. Let's go where the connection is bad. Well, no, I don't want to walk through the middle of the field because the connection's bound to be bad in the middle of the field. But I want to get to a sidewalk over there. Nice. It's roughly 18 degrees Celsius for me. Though it's bound to be colder. I don't know if the forecast is right from the app that we were using. What's up, nuts? How long did it take to create this real life simulator? This is not my doing. I just showed up here a few decades ago, and it was already like this, so. Yeah. Oh wow, Jay Slay, that's cold. -9. I thought we had snow in the forecast, but I looked again and it's gonna, I mean, it's typically like a high of 60 F every day. I'm gonna try to connect my my Android phone to my T-Mobile hotspot. know why it can't see it. I might need to restart the hotspot. Hey, I'm Heck. Welcome in. No, I didn't steal someone else's program. I appeared in someone else's program. Like, this is not my simulation. At least as far as I can tell. If it is, I did a really bad job because I don't really have much control of anything. Is it portrait mode? Dang it! Yeah, it is funny. Most people are talking about temperature. Okay, it should be fixed from portrait mode now. Okay. So before I go into this spotty connection area, I wanted to try and do connection bonding to use both Verizon and T-Mobile. I'm gonna stop at this picnic table and try to get my my Wi-Fi connected. Why is the USA too flat? There are certain parts that are flat. I mean, this is not the USA. This is just, this is the USA. This is one little field in Colorado. I mean, Colorado is definitely not a flat state for the most part. Lots of mountains and stuff. So, oh, this is called Washington Park. The locals call it Wash Park. What's up, Alka? Welcome in. I mean, yeah, this is the USA. Like, I'm just saying that, like, this is, I guess what I was trying to say is this is not the best representation of the USA because there are 50 states. This is just one of them. Yeah. Well, that's funny. Yeah, they're actually, like, playing soccer over there around the volleyball net. Okay. Let's figure out this Wi-Fi thing. I might have to restart my hotspot. What's up, Bungies? Yeah, I mean there are like cattle ranches and stuff like that for sure. Horse ranches. What's up, Sean Griffin? Is that Windows 98? Is that for Bootstrap as well? Okay, so I am now connected to both T-Mobile and Verizon. We're gonna walk through this section that I know typically has bad reception, and we'll see if we don't go down. So real quick, am I in portrait mode or is everything look good? Oh yeah, I literally pointed it at porta potties and trash cans. Looks good? Cool. Cool. feel the sun through the monitor. It feels pretty good having sat in the shade for an hour. Yeah, you're welcome, Elios. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I wanted to do that sledge dog. Grab the current time for the current location. We'll do that next week. But it is 14:11 right now. Since the time change, it gets dark around 17:30 or 5:30 p.m. Oh yeah, and that command needs to be updated because since the time change, we're actually UTC -6 instead of -7 now. So we made it through that spot without any packet loss. So that's pretty awesome. I think the bonding is actually doing its job now. If I remember right, there was also some patchy spots in here. So in the spring, all of this is like really colorful and blooming. Now it's all dead. You got some kale. And that's all I know. I don't know any of the other plants here. Oh, we are -7 now? Okay. Well, never mind. The chat's correct. The chatbot's correct. Yeah, that makes sense, Drills. Like it could literally tell people my time instead of just saying the time zone. Oh, and thanks, Chad. Yeah, if one of the mods could do a shout out to my my personal account, that's where I've been doing a lot of my IRL streams. But today I thought I'd try and do a code Q&A out in the real world. So right now I'm just walking, and also just warming up because I was sitting in the shade for like an hour. It got really cold. So I'm moving, warming up, and then I'll find another spot to sit down and try to write some code. Point of view on Django seems fine. I don't do a lot of Python, but I know a lot of people that use it. What's up, Excavator? Yep. All the ducks and, well, I don't know if the ducks are. I know the geese are definitely Canadian geese. They migrate here. which is funny because it's about to get really cold here too, but they don't leave. At least most of it anyways. Hey, what's up, Coding Garden fan? DuckDuckGo? What about DuckDuckGo? Oh, you're dropping birds? That's funny. NSD says, why would I want to use Django instead of Node with Express? If you know Python, I think like, yeah, use the tools you're comfortable with. So if you know Python already, then Django makes sense. If you know JavaScript, then Node and Express makes sense. But that's not getting into like developer experience or in terms of like what's easier to work with or what's easier to do things with. But yeah, Sledge Dog, I mean, I don't get out much. Like lately, this is the most I've gotten out in a whole long time. But I almost always see ducks, but maybe they do leave at some point. But for the most part, I think I actually do see ducks year round around here. Feathers is better than Express. Changed my mind. I mean, Feathers uses Express, or it can anyways. You all are having fun with that drop game, aren't you? No way, Andrew. That's insane. I see your test message. Did you change IPs? Whoa. Well, that's weird, Andrew. I didn't do anything. I mean, I don't think I even have control over like IP banning. That would be a Twitch thing, huh? What's up, Bug Breaker? Welcome in. Yeah, Sledge Dog, that's one of the reasons I wanted to start doing the IRL streams. Like, I started seeing the leaves change and I was like, I want to show people this. I want to walk around in this. Pretty soon, all these trees will be bare. No leaves or anything, but they look great right now. What's up, Fireball Monkey? I have been walking in grass. I could literally touch grass here. After we get out of the sun here, let me show you. Very nice grass. I guess we could just sit on the ground over here. This could be interesting. Let me find like a slightly sunny yet also shady spot. A blanket and a yerba. I thought about bringing a blanket. I just don't have a one compact enough that I'd want to carry around with me. I think we found our spot. This is it. The cold is gonna steal all my warmth? No, this is it. Yeah, 64 Fahrenheit, but the shade is cold. Like, it was like 40 degrees this morning, so a lot of places are still cold. Twitch.exe has stopped working. All right, I'm gonna try for a 10-minute coding challenge just sitting here. If I can get my laptop back on. I'm using two hotspots. Well, I'm using my phone, which is Verizon, and then I'm using a T-Mobile hotspot. I like that idea, Lime Notes. The only issue is it's only getting colder, so it's like I almost came out at like 10 a.m., but it was just so cold, so I didn't start the stream until like noon. Oh, nice. Yeah, that seems more accurate. 53 rather than 64. Wait, what did Fireball say? I missed it. Oh, yeah. No, exactly, Fireball. Like, nobody, I don't think anybody would believe that I'm actually outside right now unless I showed myself on the screen. Yeah, so this MacBook, I think now has an issue where it doesn't work unless it's plugged in, which is really unfortunate. I'll have to replace the battery. Okay, that's insane. 260 megabits right now with T-Mobile? So maybe this is the spot. This is the spot that has all the internet. Okay, I'm gonna switch to my laptop screen. I'll be right back. I don't know. I'm gonna go with it can be whatever you want because I think you actually can have it as something else. So okay, now stats has a type, which is great. So if stats dot publishers, if it has, can I do object dot? Check 1, 2. What? Matrix is broken. Hello.
Hi, what are you doing?
I'm just filming.
Just voting?
Filming and walking.
Filming and walking?
Yes, sir.
Wow, a photorama.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Did you hear about the dead man they found in the lake?
I did not. Did that happen recently?
Yeah, huh?
Did that happen recently?
Yeah, day before yesterday.
Okay.
His body. See my cones?
Mhm.
Just beyond my cones is where they found the body.
Oh wow! I can't believe you're still fishing there.
He was a fishing buddy of mine.
Okay. That's unfortunate.
He was a regular here.
Oh.
He come down here every day. I speak.
Now. Yeah. So T-Mobile is not area. Oh. Oh, thank you, Diamond Aros. I appreciate it. It's maybe a said to a kilobit. Probably a little more pixels this time. It's And all I have to do is specify the URL to that MP3 file. So this needs to be a direct link to an MP3 file or a WAV file or something like that. And then it will load it, and then all I have to do is play it. So I can say, let's take that and play the sound. So I commented out the speech utterance. So now it's not going to do that. It's just going to play this sound whenever you click the button. So it should do that. But are you a good people? I don't know. All right. Do it. 100% fair trade, certified organic, grade A, handcrafted DIY vanilla JavaScript. Yeah. You can see downtown, which if you saw the first IRL stream I did, that's where I was. Cool. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Maya. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to everybody else whose birthday's in April. Happy birthday to you. Cast found. Well, that's a good picture. It's blurring the background. Wow, my camera is not. That's cool. That's cool. This. Can we get the official website? Here it is on GitHub. Here it is. Seems fine. Seems fine. Okay, so at this point we have Brew installed, and so now I can go about installing all the other things that I want and need. And the first thing I'm going to install is iTerm. So I'm essentially going to replace this terminal with a terminal that I prefer more. So, oh wow, I'll show you the view from this side of the lake. Wow, okay, slow pan, are you ready? It looks better in person. But you can see the foothills from here. Those aren't even the mountains, those are the foothills. But if you give me a second, I need to do some stuff. Okay, should be back. I think I'm gonna give up on using my laptop today. Just because I can't. I think what I need is a dedicated bonding device. So I could build one with like a Raspberry Pi. Some people have built some with what do you call those? The NVIDIA Jetson. But I'm back. But basically, I could have a standalone device that is bonding Verizon and T-Mobile and potentially AT&T. Yeah, Bella Box is one of the things that can do that. And then all my devices will just connect to that bonded one. Whereas right now, I mean, okay, I was about to say, so we have packet loss, but for a second, I had 5G ultra wideband. I don't know. So we're just gonna walk. When we get like halfway through the park, I'm gonna pause, eat a snack, and then we'll just keep walking. I honestly kind of want to eat some pizza. I don't know if there's any pizza around here though. But we could walk and get some. Actually, I could get a slice at Whole Foods. There's a Whole Foods near here. So, a snack? Snake? Okay, I'm just gonna show you what I'm seeing now. We're back. Don't know what happened there. I actually am gonna pause again so I can go use the restroom. So it'll go to the Be Right Back screen and I'll be back to do some more walking in like 5 minutes.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Or we're too far into it. I think that just means we should definitely add the meh emote. Meh is the most juxtaposed. That sun is a whole lot brighter in my eyes than it is in the camera. Yeah, something like this. So, we're gonna do something like start vote. And by car, but my job was actually in New Jersey. Oh, nice. Glad to hear it. Yeah, I worked a job out there for about 3 years. But it's very central to everything because you're just a few hour drive from Philadelphia, like an hour from New York City, a few hours from DC. Okay, are you all ready? Drum roll, please. Nobody's drum rolling. There we go. There's at least one. Ta-da! I'm invisible. So there's blue on the shirt, so you can see through me. But Look at me. I'm a pro live coder. There's so much blue on the shirt. That's fine. We'll do that. It's very weird. Yeah. I'm a programmer. But yeah, it is 4:38 p.m. here in Denver. Thank you for that. Oh, there's a big old mural. Let's look at it. Wow. Hey. Hey. Should be back. Back? Yeah, I think I really just need to do some reconnaissance, find spots that are real 5G or 5G ultra wideband. Thanks for the follow, the low GG. Here's a kata. No! This is great though. It's because you sent a markdown, isn't it? So you sent an anchor tag where the link is to the Rickroll, but the inner text of the link is something else. Let's look at the actual kata though. Hello.
Hi, what are you doing?
I'm just filming.
Just voting?
Filming and walking.
Filming and walking?
Yes, sir.
Wow, a photorama.
Yeah, that's exact. Yeah.
Did you hear about the dead man they found in the lake?
I did not. Did that happen recently?
Yeah, huh?
Did that happen recently?
Yeah, day before yesterday.
Okay.
His body. See my cones?
Mm-hmm.
Just beyond my cones is where they found the body.
Oh wow! I can't believe you're still fishing there.
He was a fishing buddy of mine.
Okay. That's unfortunate.
He was a regular here.
Oh.
He come down here every day. I speak his language to him. I'd say Buenos dias. That
Sure.
which means good morning.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's sad to hear, but yeah.
but yeah, it happens all the time, I guess.
Yeah. Well, have a good day. Hope you
Yeah, have a good day.
catch some fish.
Huh?
Okay. Cool. So this was like a hard-coded solution. They just looked at the test values. Sean has redeemed Unbun. Here we go. For the first time in history. Somebody should probably clip this. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Oh, I have a clip in my hair, too. Oh. All right, I think we're back now. Yeah, sorry, Enroy Paul. I was just disconnecting. So anytime you see that scene that shows the TV on it, that means that I have a bad connection or I'm disconnected. So I was just trying to work out that issue. But now this is real. This is real time. This is happening. Oh, you saw Unbun, CJ? Nice. Yeah. And so what I just enabled, I'm using Speedify. So Speedify allows me to combine my internet connections. And for whatever reason, it decided to start using T-Mobile as my primary connection, which is not good because I have really bad T-Mobile coverage here. So I made it, so now it's doing redundant streaming, which means my packets are being sent through Verizon and T-Mobile doubly. So it's using twice the bandwidth, but now if one packet gets lost, it's possible that the other packet doesn't get lost. So. I don't even know how to do that codex. Like, I do know that Verizon and T-Mobile, like, they use different towers. As far as I know, like, Verizon is CDMA, or parts of it are CDMA. But yeah. Wait, who's Jared? Jared has a bun? I don't know what Jared you're talking about. And that's why I was hesitant, yeah, because I don't think 5G is CDMA. It is technically GSM, but as far as I know, it does use a different a different cell network than T-Mobile. As far as I know, I think T-Mobile acquired, well, they did. They acquired Sprint, so all of the Sprint towers are now T-Mobile towers. Inside the porta potty, I'm all right. Thanks for asking. Yeah. Well, as far as I know, Sprint used to be CDMA 2, but all of that is being retired. Carriers is the term. That's what we call it. That's, at least in the U.S., you got Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T. Those are the only major ones I can think of. And then everything else is just rebranded that. Well, thanks, Kyrian, and welcome in. This is Washington Park here in Denver, Colorado. I don't know if I can believe that temperature, America 2050, because it feels like 45. Yeah, it's 47 in Fort Collins. Well, I think the weather is wrong. Yeah, that seems more right. Alcabot says it's 53 degrees. No, I'll play with Fetties. We tried, but the connection was just breaking up too much, so put it away. We're just walking for now. Yeah. We're basically smack dab in the middle of the United States. Right next to the Rocky Mountains. Oh, I was scrolled up Codex to see your message. 20 years ago, you switched the FCC from using Excel to a proper app. To determine the validity of claims, strongest, fastest network. Yeah, every single network is the strongest, is the fastest. All of their branding. Nationwide, 5G. I don't know. We are east of the mountains. Oh yeah, thanks, NM. We fixed that yesterday. Yesterday I had KPH for whatever reason, but we fixed it to KMH. And see you later, Pablo. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I think technically we're a high desert. That's a thing I've heard before. Yeah, I have experienced earthquakes. I lived in Guam when I was a kid, which is a little island in the Pacific. Had a 8.2 hurricane. I mean, I remember bits and pieces. I was very young. Did I say hurricane? I meant earthquake. Yeah, I grew up in the Army. Or my dad was in Air Force, then Army. Wait, does the overlay say 16-mile-per-hour winds? It's definitely not blowing that fast. That's okay, Bug Breaker. It's all right to take a break every now and then. We're gonna look at these leaves. It's cool to see because a lot of them are still green, but then you can see the others change. Yeah. Use my laptop out here. It's also, like, I just have to get out so much stuff. I don't want to be in the middle of the water. Some people have done that before drills. Like, it's not a weird thing to do. It said moderator at Coding Garden, Discord, and Twitch. I mean, community building and community management is a real thing, so, yeah. Oh, that's a good idea, macaroni pizza pie. From forecast to most recent observation. Well, the other thing is, like, I almost want to carry a weather sensor around with me so we know exactly what the temperature is where I am. Prototype of body desktop? Oh, you mean, like, well, I could get one of those things where the laptop, it has a hoop around your neck and you can, like, use it standing. Oh, I haven't heard of that. NM Deva's life. He codes out in the Japanese nature. Nice. I mean, that's kind of what I was trying to do today. We got a pretty good run out of it. It was probably like 30 or 45 minutes of answering code questions sitting at my laptop. But yeah, that's a cool idea too, Alka. Pointing a projector at the ground. Well, there was a. What do the red ones taste like? I have not eaten any of the leaves. But there was a guy from MIT that had a project. I forget what it was called. I wrote a technical paper about it when I was in college, but he had this whole system where he basically had a projector mounted on his chest, and everywhere he went, it could project basically like augmented reality type stuff. So he could go into a bookstore and it would project book reviews onto the book, or if he was in a grocery store, it would project prices onto products, or if he was looking at a newspaper, it could project a video to a blank spot on one of the articles. It's a cool concept. Nothing really came of it. I don't think we just haven't reached the projector technology yet. Too young. Yeah, give it a few more years. But I mean, at that point, you won't need a projector. You'll just be wearing like a contact lens, or like really slim down augmented reality glasses. What was the guy with the projector? So he was from MIT Media Lab. I forget what it was called. If you search for MIT Media Lab, he did a TED Talk at one point. MIT Media Lab wearable projector. Is something like Know Your Wear or something like that? Hello, Jan Zombie, welcome in. Kodak says, I've been wanting AR since I was a kid, helping my dad under the car working on things. Yeah. Just the idea of overlaying stuff on our environment is, I mean, I guess so. Like Minority Report did it, and they actually did research from MIT Media Lab. So the guy that, I guess he used to run MIT Media Lab. I think he has his own company now. Forget his name and the company name. It's like, starts with an O maybe? Oh, there's a child abduction alert. Super interesting to see. I think that just flipped my video. Give me a second. Forget his name, but basically he did a lot of the interaction design stuff at MIT Media Lab and was actually a consultant on Minority Report. And so a lot of the stuff that they were actually building at MIT Media Lab was used as inspiration for like the UI and user experience stuff in the Minority Report. Hattie Mays. 6 Sense, that's it. Yeah, thanks, Drills. 6 Sense wearable interface. Yeah, if you look it up, there's a TED Talk on it too. Yeah, Pranav Mystery, that's it. Thank you. And then if you want to try and find the name of the guy that worked at MIT Media Lab, he might have run it, but he now has a company where they, last I saw, they're mainly just working with large enterprise. Like it's not really a thing for consumers, but essentially like heavily connected like meeting rooms. And he showcased a lot of tech where basically you could have multiple screens and you could drag the stuff you're doing from one screen to the other. And then also there was like gesture control for like navigating through data and stuff like that. But yeah, it was way ahead of its time. I mean, it's still ahead of its time. Like we're not even really seeing any interfaces like that. I mean, I think one of the main things about hand and gesture control is it gets tiring to hold your hands up all the time. So it's like, it makes sense for some things, but to have an interface where you literally have to have your hands in the air all the time, I don't think that makes as much sense. Yeah. You sound like you got a lot of experience, Codex. You've been a lot of places. Kilimanjaro, welcome in. They were CEO at Samsung Technology and Advanced Research Labs. Okay. Yeah. Star Labs. Is that the name of it? Okay. I could have swore it started with an O, like Osmo. Osba. Ozo. Oh, that's Samsung's lab. I see. The one I was. So the guy that consulted on Minority Report, he has a company now. Does my arm hurt? No, I've built up the muscle. I've gotten used to carrying this around so much. It definitely did the first few times. Oh, nice, Kilsa. Or Klisa. Glad to hear that. Yeah, I'm glad my setup worked. I mean, it works for me, so glad you got some use out of it. That's true, Jaysley. Optimized for POSIX? For just plain old shell? I feel like these in the tree shots are cool. I mean, I can't tell as much because my screen is so small, but oh, no worries, Joel. I'll have to find it later and like share it in Discord. That's him. Underkoffler. That sounds like the name of the Minority Report guy. It was not Osmo. Okay. Or like Ozba? Or I could have swore it started with an O. Cool. Yeah, and I think that's an older TED Talk that he did. But if you look at his company and like their YouTube channel, they have a lot of, they show all the like the current tech that they're working on. But gesture tracking is not easy. I think ultimately the tech settled on was to have cameras pointed at the entire room to be able to track objects for gesture control. Okay, we're back. But I believe it's like technology used in like switching between my internal and external mics again. Okay, check. I think we're back at this microphone, back at my chest microphone. Yeah, I'm hungry. I'm probably gonna just end the stream though and go get like a legit meal because I have some snacks with me, some like granola bars, some beef jerky, but hear anything I said. Granola bars, beef jerky, but I want to have a right proper meal. That's what I said. Yeah, I mean, half the stream was packet loss, but it has been 3 hours. Oh, nice, Codex. That sounds fun. My partner recently got a dehydrator, and so she's made some beef jerky and like dehydrated fruits and stuff. Not half, yeah, that's true. It feels like a lot, though. Find somebody to raid. Yeah, what's up, Mr. Cat? I'm finally, I mean, I'm outside. It's close enough to the garden, right? Everything's died at this point because it's fall. Long-awaited stream. Yeah, I'm about to end, but if you watch the VOD, we got some Q&A done earlier. I had my laptop going and everything. Yeah, no worries, Mr. Keka. Thanks for tuning in when you did. Yeah, that makes sense, Codex. The one we have has all kinds of like adjustable temperature. It has multiple layers and stuff like that, but I think you don't need much. It's just like low heat for a long period of time. All right, we've got a streamer that is in Ireland on a bicycle. We're gonna go raid them. Yeah. A streamer who codes on a treadmill? I haven't seen them. There we go. So we're taking you to the other side of the world. They're out and about on their bikes, so that should be fun. You've seen a treadmill DJ before? I've never seen that. Hey, welcome in, kid. I'm just now ending, but thank you for tuning in. Hopefully we'll see you next time. Next stream is planned for Friday, so tune in Friday. I'll be working on fresh spots. Cool. All right. See you, everybody.